Hello, everyone, and welcome to our author chat on Friday. I am here with the lovely Vanessa Barneveld, whose upcoming novel, Under the Milky Way, comes out August 10th. The lovely and our resident Loki stan, Molly Ely, whose Ember of the Night came out in May. And the lovely Shakir is here with us as well, and his upcoming YA fantasy, You Are Going to Die For. So I'm going to let these guys kick it off and get started.
So, awesome. Molly, I'm so excited to talk to you guys. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped about both your novels. So I'm going to start with questions for Vanessa. Hope you're doing good this morning. We have this beautiful cover, Under the Milky Way. It's coming out. Let's see if I can get it in there. August 10th, correct? I'm so pumped about this novel. So I would love to know what inspired you to write this.
Okay, I had 3 inspirations. One was my late mother, who swore she saw 2 UFOs when she was a child in Indonesia, in broad daylight. She said they were hovering maybe a few meters off the ground and just very silently going across a field. And she was all alone, no witnesses. But of course, no camera, no smartphone back then to snap a photo. But the way she told it to me, it was like totally legit. So that was one inspiration for me. And another is a magazine series. I don't know if you had it in the US. It was called The Unexplained, and it was full of famous hauntings and black ops operations.
Oh wow!
Spontaneous human combustion, all that kind of stuff, and of course UFO sightings. So that fed my imagination for years and years. And also in my day job as a TV captioner for the deaf and hearing impaired, I get to see a ton of TV, and I had a spate of a few months run of UFO shows, and so I'd be editing the captions for those and going, wow, what if UFOs really were real and that aliens walked among us and the government knew about it? So that was, those were my 3 inspirations for this book. And over the years, they kind of fed my imagination. And I think it was in 2015, I finally started writing it. And
oh, nice. I love that you have this awesome, authentic background with the story. It's good. I know that's just going to jump off the page. That just sounds amazing. And just from reading your blurb, I was like, this is going to be a bomb. I pre-ordered it instantly. Everybody should. But speaking of that magazine, that kind of goes into my next question about the research. Like, what was that like, researching all this awesome UFO stuff? Did you ever go down a rabbit hole where you were like, ooh, I better back up?
For sure. I'm on this forum called Quora. I actually lurk there a lot, and there's a lot of real life stories there. So you can go down a rabbit hole there. But I try to pull myself back and, after a few months of research, just start writing the book. Otherwise, putting my own spin on things. Otherwise, I'd never get started. But I do wish I was able to interview real alien abductees.
Okay.
I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure they're out there.
Okay.
I bet you could.
I don't know what I say about that. I think that's going to be its own book in and of itself.
I think so.
Clearly, we found out Vanessa's bucket list trip is to Area 51.
Oh, nice.
And we do have a reader question, and I'll let all 3 of you answer it, which Carla also said, Molly, she loves your shirt. But Natasha has asked, what has been your favorite scenes to write? So, Vanessa, if you want to kick it off without any spoilers, because I know not everyone has read Under the Milky Way yet, obviously, but in anticipation, give us some goodness.
Well, I guess all the UFO scenes, like the sighting scenes, they really excite me because, I really want that to happen to me. I know. But I don't want all the bad stuff to happen.
You just want to see UFO.
I just want to see one.
Oh my God.
I love that.
I mean,
Look.
I kind of want to too. I'm not even gonna lie. So on that note, Molly, what about you? What were your favorite scenes to remember?
Oh man, that's so hard. It's always a hard question, but I love the kissing scene. So whenever Draven and Harley are, about to make out in the stacks of a bookstore, I'm really into it. So those are my favorites, right? I love the demons. I love the demons too. That's fun, but something about kissing. I'm just really into it.
I mean, I did see your TikTok about where you were writing spicy scenes and chasing your husband around the house, and that was cracking me up, so I can see that for sure.
Yeah, he gets kind of tired of it. I'm like, research. Take this dagger, put it to my throat.
Oh my goodness. That's high comedy, I swear to God.
And Shakir, I know we have a little bit longer for yours, but all of us, including Meredith, I see you over there dying for Shakir's book. I am too. Can you give us anything that you love to write?
Well, the fun part about mine is that I am out of my entire universe, as far as the books that I've written and that type of thing, I absolutely indulge in paranormal in all aspects as far as that is. I've got angels and demons. I've got incubi. I've got it's a lot of different things that do come into play when it comes to my paranormal world. When with regard to my new series that I'm dealing with right now, I actually had, for all Marvel fans out there, I've been playing with the Incredible Hulk themes with regard to how my teenager is dealing with the other guy, so to speak. So there's a lot that's coming into play with regard to that, with regard to how that story arc is playing out and that type of thing. And I am over the moon thrilled as to what the possibilities could be once we actually get it to press.
Everything
excited.
that just sounds so cool, because you never really get like the insight behind it. I mean, I'm not as big as a Marvel fan as Molly, so like for me,
Molly and I can have a conversation for days with regard to the Marvel universe, so we're not even going to go there.
We could. Let's open it up. We got time. No, I'm so excited.
That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say.
I love it. But YA, that's so cool that you're setting this inspiration from Hulk in a teenage aspect. I think that just blew my mind when you told me that yesterday. I am like a huge fan. I am ready for this book already, and now I have to wait forever, which I know it's going to be worth the wait. But I'm so pumped. It's such a cool concept.
Yeah, it was fun when we sat down to actually flesh it all out. The original concept was supposed to be a retelling of Beauty and the Beast from the male's perspective, and then it just sort of fleshed itself out. And I was like, well, what do we do this? And since we're playing with monsters and demons and all that other good stuff, what don't we do this? And yeah, it just took off.
I love that. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
Sometimes the best things just do. They just.
Yeah, they come out of thin air, and it's just like, oh, let's just run with it. How about that?
Yeah, that's.
Yes.
I read a quote the other day that was like, when you're drafting, you start with a story that you think you want to write, but then it ends up with a story that you were supposed to write or supposed to tell or something along those lines.
So good.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Definitely sounds like what happened.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
It sounds so good.
Yeah, that makes me feel better about not being able to stick to an idea.
Oh no! Oh, good gracious, no! I think even with all of the other series that I had going on, it's like it started out one way and then it ended off a wholly different arena of what I thought I was going to be at before it was all said and done. So I never worry about whether or not I'm going to stick to an original plan or not, because anything and everything can happen.
So then I guess
that makes it easier.
This raises a question I actually had for you. So are you a pantser or a planner?
I am firmly in the middle. How about that?
Really?
I don't go one way or the other. I literally outline my story arcs, but then I go off the beaten path whenever I feel like it. And then then it's like, okay, well, I was supposed to be over there, so let me go back over there real quick and then get back on the road. Yeah, that's never a problem as far as that is.
That sounds like the best way to write. Like, oh, we're gonna start. No, we're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It works. And then,
Yeah.
Molly, I do have a question from Carla for you. How many books is Ember of the Night going to be? The series.
Ooh, that's a super good question. I believe it's going to be 3, but I never give a solid, like, it's absolutely this, because just like Shakir was just saying, the story can take so many different turns. So with Shadow of Light coming out in November, we are going to see where it goes. So I'm very excited. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 3, but I will never say a solid
We never know.
But
I think we might have run into this problem before with another series. So
yeah, maybe. Not a problem though. Not a problem. Such a great series.
There you have it.
We just need more.
Yeah, sometimes you do.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Vanessa. If you want to write more books about Under the Milky Way, I'll read them.
I have some ideas. Oh, okay.
Read them.
Well, thanks.
All of them.
Yes.
I'll write them for you, Brittany. I'll write them for you.
Yes.
Oh,
I've never wanted. Okay.
Yeah, you just gotta love that. Oh my goodness, you just gotta love that.
I am, and I'm not a big sci-fi reader, but I literally, I couldn't put it down. So y'all are in for a treat. And Shakir, I know I'll be the same way with your book, so don't fret. It's
Oh no, I'm not worried.
I'm gonna be bugging you too. Like, excuse me, sir. Plus,
I'm not worried at all. It's all good.
And then Meredith does have 2 questions for you guys. The first is there a YA book that inspired your desire to become a YA author? Whoever wants to go first. I know that's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, that part. Good gracious.
Well, I can tell you, Christopher Pike.
Okay.
He wrote "Remember Me," which was about a ghost, from a ghost's perspective, and it was just magical to me. I read it when I was, I think it was on my first trip to the US to visit my dad, and I picked it up at a 7-Eleven or something, and I couldn't put it down. And so I read everything that I could find of his after that, and I think he really did inspire me. And also, to show my age as well, these Sweet Valley High books.
No,
I read these. This is a keeper. This is a keeper. Dear sister.
Love that.
Yeah. So yeah, they were 2 of my inspirations, but there are many more. But
And for you, Molly, who inspired you?
Yeah. Oh, I love this question so much because I've always wanted to be a writer. I decided that in 2nd grade I was going to be an author if it killed me, and I got there, so I'm super happy about it. But I didn't know if I wanted to do adult or young adult or new adult, and I picked up, I don't know if you can see it in the background here, The Body Finder by Kimberly Durding. I picked it up one day. It was one of those blind buys from Barnes & Noble's on a table. I knew nothing about it. I read the blurb, took it home, and I consumed it. And it was one of those worlds that just blew me away, especially because it was set with a teenager, and I hadn't read as much as I would like, of that genre. And I remember being blown away by the first experience and the, all the high stakes that come with being a teenager and figuring out who you were. So yeah, the minute I read that, I was like, I want to do this. Now I'll never be able to touch Kimberly Durding, but I want to do this. And it was, I absolutely loved it. So.
And then for you, Shakir.
For me, I won't necessarily say there was YA series or anything like that kind of inspired me. Mine was more along the lines of, I grew up as a comic book head, so that was the majority of my life from age 7 to now. so there's all of that comes into play as far as that is. Then it kind of went from comic books to specific movie series. I think the one that probably got me into the paranormal side of the YA world was probably The Lost Boys, as far as that particular movie. And then it started that whole shift at that particular point. So it's just, that's pretty much where I think the onus probably probably the genesis of it all with regard to my wanting to jump into YA eventually.
Not bad. That's a great series of movies, so I can see that. And then her other question was, does anyone have any big summer plans to travel? Are we doing things?
Well, I wish.
I'll wait for next year. How about that? No, this year definitely no planning as far as this year is concerned. There's a few things that have to be taken care of. I've got a child that I've got to get on campus. She's going to college in literally in about 6 weeks. So I've got to get ready for that as far as that is, and then we can kind of start thinking about what we're doing as far as plans are concerned. I know next year is big because there are two plans in particular to jump out of the country. One is probably going to Germany to go visit our son. He's currently stationed overseas. And then the second one is actually bigger than that. We're supposed to be having a book conference in Dubai.
Oh, nice.
Wow. How exciting.
Jots down. Okay, Dubai. Yes.
Find that book conference?
Yes.
That's awesome.
What about you, Molly? You going anywhere?
Yeah, no summer plans here. Not until the book signing circuit opens up again. I think next July is my first signing at Book Bonanza, and then I'm hoping for Liverpool, UK soon. I'm supposed to hear news about that soon, so I'm really crossing my fingers for that one, but it'll be next year.
Oh, how exciting.
Vanessa, are you allowed to explore outside of Australia yet?
No, I'm not even allowed to explore outside of my local government area at the moment because we're in lockdown. So I'm happy to be in lockdown. It's necessary. But yeah, I guess I'm traveling through other people's books and through movies at the moment. I would eventually like to get out of the country again and see my family overseas and my friends, of course. I really miss going to conferences.
Yes.
Yeah, but hopefully in the future, we'll see.
I feel that. I'm ready to get abroad again too. I've got that itch. It's okay. I was bored, now I'm ready. Let's do it.
Yes, very, yeah.
And then another exciting, I would feel like a hard question for you guys from Natasha. What was the hardest part about writing your book? I know that's
yeah. The list goes on and on that. How about this? Let's say we'll say the hardest part about me writing the book has always been the research. Whenever you get stuck in a spot where it's you're only just trying to get this one, maybe 2 lines right, and you got to go about 15 browser links in to try and figure out what the accuracy is of it, and that type of thing. Yeah, that's probably going to rank right up there near the top of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure. Just thinking about that, it's wait a second.
Depending on, for me, especially for me, depending on the book that I may have been writing or anything along those lines, I technically would have to worry about the CIA knocking on my door. So it's just,
right.
because it's not I'm looking for anything in particular that is supposed to trigger, but at the same time, it's what do? You got to find out. I'm a writer, for God's sake.
Sometimes you just gotta do it. If they come, well, at least you're not hiding anything.
Right. You're I have the evidence. It's right here.
But sorry, I'm just writing. Please. What about you? What's the hardest part about writing Ember?
Oh man, for sure the content, the triggering content that we were dealing with in Ember of Night. I drew a lot from personal experience, but also I had to speak with people who had gone even deeper than I did with the emotional and familial abuse. So those scenes were always the hardest to get through, just because you want to change them. You want to fix everything and heal the world, but you can't, and you can't step away from it too much, because then you're not doing it justice for the people who've gone through it. So it was finding that balance between, wanting to heal the world and the people who've gone through these horrible instances, and also trying to be real and authentic as possible for those people on behalf of them. So that was always the hardest days for me. I would always like come out and be like, okay, I need like just an emotional cleanse. Like we'd have to just switch gears after getting done writing those scenes. So those were always the hardest to get through.
And for you, Vanessa?
For me, it was the start, the middle, and the end. It's everything. It's all hard. No. Yeah, I think similar to Molly, there were some emotional aspects of mine and some medical aspects of mine that were very in the moment for me. Like there were some things that I was dealing with my family, and it was difficult to write at the same time. So. Yeah, I don't want to babble on too much about that, but yeah, I did find that similar experience where it was a real thing in my world at that point, and for my characters. But then at the same time, I think I was able to pull that into the characters as well. So,
and then on that note, I do have another question for you. Carla wants to know: is Under the Milky Way a standalone?
At this point it is, but I'm open to any offers. I do have an idea that is brewing in my mind. So yeah, hopefully I would love to expand the world of Under the Milky Way, or the universe, even.
Me too. And then I think when we were talking about not ending things, which ironically Joanna said, why stop a good thing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, you're not wrong. And then, what actor or actress would you cast as your main character is what Kristen would like to know. I know, but I feel like that's so hard.
Okay. I'll let the ladies go first, and then I kind of figure it out some kind of way or whatever. But yeah, about that. Okay, fine. I'll go first.
Shakir taking one for the team here.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit. As far as my main character is concerned, Jacob Lattimore is the actor in particular that I have in mind. I actually saw him in a movie called Slight from a few years ago.
Okay.
Loved him in that, as far as him being the male protagonist in that particular movie. As far as his love interest and my female protagonist, that would be Chloe Bailey. Yes,
I love her.
That would be a pairing that I would absolutely love to see on the screen.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of both Bailey sisters, but yeah, I'm down. Do it.
Yeah,
Sign me
exactly.
I'm
exactly.
I like that.
And for you, Molly, did you magically search the depths of your brain?
No, I have such a hard time with it. No, nothing magic happened here. I have such a hard time with this because I always I think of older actors when I know it's a very, very young adult book, so it's hard for me to place. For Harley, in my mind, I had Emma Stone just because she's got that fiery red hair and that roughness about her, that edginess about her that I really, really loved, and I feel like she could. Just in my head, she was always kind of that person. For Draven, I never actually had like a solid actor in mind. On Pinterest, my Pinterest boards, I have tons of models that are on there that look like him. He's very unique. And there's so many stunning Middle Eastern models out there. So that's who kind of Draven was based off of. So I don't have a character for him, but I would love for y'all to find me one. Like I would take your guys' anytime. Yes, do that.
Give us the fan casting.
Yes.
And for you, Vanessa, what about you? Any people come to mind for you?
No, actually. My main protagonist is Dutch Indonesian, so I don't know too many Dutch Indonesian actresses. So if you're out there, please come forward.
Have it.
As for Hayden's character, wow. I actually didn't think of that either. I have Pinterest boards, secret Pinterest boards full of faces and models and stuff. So I don't know. But I do have some actor friends who may be able to take some secondary roles. my friend
There you go.
Kate Mulvaney, if I can drop her name. She was in The Great Gatsby, and
Yes.
she's wonderful.
Nice.
She's amazing. So, yes, I would watch anything that Kate's in. So I'd want her in my movie. So
Absolutely.
please.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I love Kate. So yeah, I'd be down for anything she's in.
She's an amazing
I'm here.
person, amazing actress, amazing writer as well. So if you can see anything she's in, you'll love it. She just is amazing.
And then these people are coming with the heavy hitters today.
Oh, very much so.
They really are. If you could pitch your book to a reluctant reader, what would you say?
Ooh.
Oh, we're just gonna go ahead and just throw the elevator pitches out. Why don't we? Okay.
Right.
Let's try. Okay, so we'll try to take a stab at it real quick. My new series is a YA paranormal fantasy series about a teenage descendant of an ancient metahuman bloodline who searches for the truth about the death of his parents and their connection to a centuries-old blood feud over sacred texts contained inside of his native Kendara, an island nation located near the West African coast, all while trying to navigate high school.
That's a big ask.
Yes. Yes.
I agree with that.
That was good. He wins.
Stares in anticipation. I want it so bad. It sounds so
Have it
good.
now. Take it now.
All right.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm just kidding, Molly. How would you pitch Ember?
Oh, wow. Have to follow that. Well, I would say.
Look, I'm not
Nice.
trying to overachieve or anything.
No, that was effortless, and we all saw it. So that's where I'm a little like, ooh, okay. I would say Ember of Night is about a teenage girl from a very broken home whose one goal in life is to get her little sister out of this broken home. And if that wasn't hard enough, a mysterious stranger comes into her life and tells her she's the key to stopping a war between heaven and hell. When the world has not been nice to her at all, she doesn't think it's worth saving. So that's kind of what Ember of Night is all about. Find the camera. There it is.
It sounds amazing.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Molly and Shakir, can you write my pitch for me?
I got no
I got
problem.
this.
Okay. I applaud y'all in general because these can't be hard to write.
No, they're not. They're really not.
Or these can't be easy to write.
I think look, before I finally got that one committed to memory, it was like about 15 different drafts. Like, okay, this word don't look right, and no, this phrase neither. And wait a minute, and yeah, after a while, it's like you just throwing stuff in the trash, and you just oh, good gracious, no.
And
You're
Vanessa.
a real writer. Oh, and me. Okay, mine was pitched as Veronica Mars meets the X-Files. When a Colorado teen tries to get to the bottom of spooky, unexplained lights in the sky. And she knows she's in deep trouble when she discovers that aliens aren't the bad guys.
There you go.
Yeah, I like it.
Short
There you
sweet
go.
version, and I want. So can I have this?
You
I
can,
mean-
you can.
I think I was sold at Veronica Mars, and then you added the X-Files, and I was like, ooh. Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole day.
Okay.
Nothing else to talk about. Nothing else to
Double
talk about.
sold.
Right
Mhm.
next. And then that leads into a great question for you guys from Pam. If you could be any paranormal being, what would you be? I mean, if
Man, that is like impossible.
I don't know if it's really paranormal, but I've wanted to be a mermaid my whole life. So,
Yes.
you know, when I was little, I thought I was going to grow up and be a mermaid.
Aw.
Oh, I love that.
You know,
I love that.
You know you can get mermaid attachments, don't you? I've seen this on Pinterest. Yeah.
yes.
Do you have one?
No.
Okay.
Oh goodness.
As a grown adult, I'm like, yes, I need this.
They just look, they obviously it's just going to be that kind of night where it's like we're just going to stretch the minds out a little bit here. Y'all didn't get. I mean, it's really a toss up between, and the funny part is that thanks to legacies, I don't have to worry about choosing. But the concept of being a hybrid is lovely to me at this particular point in time. Klaus Michelson pretty much influenced that whole bit, and I would not mind having both lycanthrope and vampirism available to me at any given time to use in whatever manner that I want to see fit. So there you have it.
All right.
I love that.
I wish I had words because that just sounds great. So I'm just gonna let you do all the talking. I'm useless. What about you, Molly?
I love that answer. Can we consider anything from Marvel Paranormal? I don't know. Like, I'd always go into that world.
I'm serious, like, hey,
Isn't that like
we can bring that back in here. Why not? I mean, shit, we're looking at the X-Men as it is, or as it is right now. Like, hey, bring them on.
For this purpose, yes, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I would love to be that. I would love to be the female version of Loki. I mean, the illusion, the mystery, the charm. I would love to be Sylvie all the way.
There you have it.
That'd be me.
It's not a bad idea, though.
No, it's really
not.
not.
An obsession for a reason, y'all. I'm a little bit obsessed.
All right, so when can I expect this book? This female version of Loki, please.
Man. All right, I'm texting Liz.
She's like, no. This is going to be like, Jesus.
She's like,
please stop now.
Oh, God.
Right?
Oh, no.
What about you, Vanessa? What do you want to be? We know you love aliens, so I figured you might maybe go in that direction.
Yes, E.T. I loved E.T. I actually wanted to be Wonder Woman when I was a kid.
Yes.
Is she considered paranormal? I guess she is. Like, she's got the invisible plane too, and
she is a whole.
I mean, we consider Loki. We consider Wonder Woman.
I was about to say she's a whole demigod. We're not going to play them games. Go ahead and take that.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah.
Okay. I accept any answer.
So, either Wonder Woman or E.T. Yes, that'll be me.
All right, use E.T. to clone for Wonder Woman, and then you can just transfer to Wonder Woman.
I love it.
That works.
Just hitting all the bases. Shakir.
Yeah, all of that.
Multifaceted. Why can't we all be?
That makes us better writers. Yeah.
There was nothing in the game that said we couldn't.
Right.
I mean, you have a good point here. And then Molly, Sarah asked, when is the next Ember book coming out?
Oh, it's coming out November 30th. So it's not as big of a gap between the first release and the next. So I'm super pumped about it.
Good deal.
How do y'all do this so fast?
Yeah. How do you do it?
I signed up for it. I did agree to it. So it's just fun. But when you're with a story that you love this much, it just kind of, falls out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pam asked, is it harder to pick a cover or write a blurb?
Blurb.
Oh. Blurb. Yes.
Blurb. Blurb all the way.
That's a no-brainer. Good.
I can give you easy questions too.
Look, that one was easy.
Yes, please.
Yeah, that was definitely easy.
Yes.
And then Natasha wants to know, what do you like to do when you're not writing? Besides watching Loki, Molly.
I was about to say besides
Okay. Well, there's also Marvel marathons. Okay, no. Besides writing, I love reading. Obviously, reading is a no-brainer. And I love board games. I'm like a huge board game nerd. So I play a lot of, story building, deck building games with my family friends. And that's pretty much it. I'm just a big nerd all the way.
We like
Very
that.
proud.
What about you, Vanessa? What do you like to do when you're not writing?
When I'm not writing, I'm usually eating or watching TV or going down to the park to check on a family of swans that live down there. they had 6 signets a few weeks ago, and then it went down to 5 signets, and I'm just terrified to go down there next time to see how many are down there. But yeah, they're there every year.
So wholesome.
Pardon?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Started off so wholesome, and then we got all
I know. Sorry. That went very dark, didn't it? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
I was like, oh, swans, and then okay. Maybe he was just hiding. We're gonna say he was
yeah,
hiding.
well, that's what my sister said. He was just in the reeds, and
He's
there are lots of reeds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh goodness!
What about you, Shakir? What do you like to do?
I am a cigar aficionado. So 9 times out of 10, I'm literally trying to figure out what next brand I plan on picking up or anything along those lines. I've got several friends that jump out of the country, so I'm good for a Cuban anytime that they jump back in or anything along those lines. So that's really a lot of it when it comes to that. Anybody that's seen me around at different book conferences when I'm not in a book booth or anything along those lines, 9 times out of 10, I'm outside enjoying a cigar.
Simple, good life.
Absolutely. Especially once I finish the manuscript. I'm in my backyard all day.
It's a great plan.
Oh, it's very
We'll have to send
it's
you
lovely. It's absolutely
gift,
lovely. Look, you get to type V in and then shut the laptop down, go outside, enjoy the spring. Well, in this particular instance, the lovely summertime. And yeah, about it.
And then what do you think makes a great story?
That's funny. I actually have a shirt that says bad decisions.
Nice.
So there you go. Bad decisions. That's what makes a great story. 9 times out of 10 is somebody's little foolhardy decision that comes up with a whole storyline that you just really didn't expect to happen at that particular point in time, especially when you're talking about anything around thrillers or mysteries or, God, even rom-coms. Oh, good Lord, let's not even go there with that. So that's the easy decision. Well, easy decision. That's the easy answer for me. I'll put it that way.
I was gonna say usually sometimes those kind of nights lead to bad decisions, which is the rom-com, but we're not gonna go there anyways.
Exactly.
What about you, Molly? What makes a great story for you?
Oh man. I would say a combination of authenticity, heart, and a good unit, like a good cast of characters that you just are dying for their story and their story to kind of just spiderwebs into this world that you just don't want to break away from, and it gives you that either that form of escapism or catharticism if you're going through something similar that the character is. So I would say that kind of combination for me.
And for you, Vanessa, what makes a good story?
Well, I love that bad decisions make a good story thing, because so often when things go wrong in my life, it's because I've made a bad decision, but then it pushes me forward. It takes me, it forces me to change something or go in a different direction. But yeah, I think tension makes a good story. That makes you want to find out what happens next. Like if I can use a TV series as an example, The Americans. Every episode, every scene was full of tension, and you're just sitting there going, I don't want them to get caught, but they're the enemy, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
That really keeps me grounded in a story and wanting to know and wanting to keep going. That's what makes a great story, not wanting to put it down.
On that note, Sarah asked, what are your favorite novels? So Vanessa, we'll start with you. Since you like
okay. Well,
what are favorites?
It's hard.
Gosh, it's like picking a favorite cat or child.
Why we no? Now I'm gonna let y'all answer that because I take zip on now.
Yeah, I think I have to go back to Remember Me, and this is what I read every few years. And this is actually my second copy of it because the first copy was just disintegrated from so many reads. So yeah, that would be the one that always jumps to the top of my mind when I'm thinking of favorite books. Sorry to repeat an answer.
Repeat as much as you want. We have no rule.
Yeah,
and there's one rule, there's no rules.
Yeah. all that.
Shakir, you look ready to answer.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. They're asking the one question. Look, they're asking the one question. I'm sitting here like, let me just roll through the thousands of books that are in my head at this particular. No, it's not gonna happen. If I had to be nailed to the wall with regard to a series or a book that I absolutely would call my favorite, there's a series called basically I affectionately call it the Gideon series, from a dearly departed mentor, Eric Jerome Dickey. It starts. It's like 4 or 5 books that basically surround a hitman. As far as that is, and yeah, when he came up with that one, I mean, I've been rocking with him since the 90s, literally, before I even jumped into writing myself. And when he came up with that series, that spurred my sojourn into romantic suspense. And it just kind of picked up from there at that point in time. But I would say that would be my favorite series that I would just literally, I'd literally take with me anywhere.
And then for you, Molly, did you rack your brain of all the books you've ever read?
This is such a hard question because I have so many amazing novels that have stuck with me over the years. But I will say Kimberly Durden's The Body Finder series just blew me away. It's a girl who can sense echoes of the dead. So she's like this crime solving, fear testing chick, which I just loved her. I love Molly McAdams' Redemption series. Romantic suspense, she just does it so well. And then I love Jennifer L. Armentrout's From Blood and Ash series. Like, that's been consuming me lately. So.
And then what inspired you the most to write paranormal novels?
Well,
I know they're asking really good questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they did.
Those are great.
Look, I love
they are great questions.
I feel like it's like here's an egg. I'm making you like in this little egg cooker, like.
I like it.
Well, look, keep them coming. I'm not even tripping. As far as my inspiration, I guess because I enjoy the whole concept of there being extraordinary beings in one form or fashion. As far as that is, the fact that they have the abilities that normal human beings would not, and it gives you such a creative license to play around with a whole lot of rules that aren't supposed to be played with. It's a fun genre to play in. I mean, outside of sci-fi, I mean, it's just, oh goodness.
What about you, Molly?
I completely agree. Completely agree with everything he said. I was like weaned on it. Like, I just love shows like that, like Buffy and Angel and Supernatural, all those shows that are like, take us out of the ordinary. Because I love sitcoms as well, but there's something when you add that paranormal aspect to it, it just stuck with me. And, obviously I'm a nerd, so Marvel nerd all the way. Anything that's like superheroes, like I always was for it. So I'm for any type of fantasy, any variation of the genre, because it's so much fun. And I feel like it raises the stakes too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for you, Vanessa?
Well, I like that you can almost do whatever you want in the world of paranormal. Anything's possible. I'm from in my immediate family, all the women seem to have lots of spooky experiences, like we're like ghost magnets or something. And I think, so for me, it was like normal to write about the supernormal, or, the supernatural. I can just have a lot of fun with it and draw from experiences and also take my imagination to wherever I want it to go.
And then off of that, do you base your characters off people you know?
No. I get inspiration from people, and I kind of miss commuting to work. I don't have to get on a train anymore to go to my office. I have to work from home now. So I do miss being able to people watch. But yeah, to all my family and friends, none of my characters are based on you, so please don't read anything into characters.
Molly, I saw you covering your face. I'm assuming that's yes.
Oh, I totally do. I totally do. everybody, whoever gets close to me, I'm like, just so you know, right now, anything you say can and might end up in a book. Like, it just might. And yeah, I don't do like whole characters like this is my husband, you know. I don't do anything like that. But there is a lot of my. I have a. Well, she just turned 8. I have an 8-year-old girl, so there was a lot of her in Ray's character. She was 7 in the book, and I have a 6-year-old son, so a lot of him went into Ray as well. It's like a combination of them. So that happens, and then just lines, man. Sometimes you hear the best lines when you're out, and you're just like, I mean, I haven't been out in a while, but back in the day when we could go out and be safe, you would hear great lines, and I'd be like, snatch, that's going in the book.
There you go. It's over
This
with.
makes me think of, I think
It's
it was
fun.
some Vine. Oh my God, they were roommates. That's like, it lives in my head rent free. Just saying that made me think of that.
Oh,
You're so right. You're just like, oh, that was good. That was good. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What about you here?
Nobody's safe. Sorry. Nobody's safe. Nobody's safe.
Mm-hmm.
In certain books, I even put the disclaimer that the names have been changed to protect the not so innocent.
Yeah. I love it.
You're honest about it. They know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Vanessa, this question is actually directly for you from Cheyenne. I think we talked about this a little earlier, but you can elaborate. What made you write aliens, and do you just love them?
I do just love them. Funnily enough, it was my editor who suggested aliens, like actual aliens in the book. It did start off as a different kind of book. I won't go into that. But when she suggested putting more aliens in the book, that made me jump at it right away because, I've always loved the paranormal and stories about UFOs and have wanted to be a witness, not an abductee, a witness to a UFO. I stress that to any aliens watching, please. Just leave me be and let me watch,
Just
just a flyby. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Yeah, but I grew up with things like Star Trek and Star Wars, so aliens were kind of normal for me in my world.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Andrea,
thank you for the question.
How did you know that you wanted to pursue this career as an author? Whoever can start, whoever is ready to field that kind of question. I know it's another heavy hitter for you. I'm sorry.
No, I love this question. I figured it out in 2nd grade. My teacher brought in this stack of blank hardbacks, and she had us work in a different notebook for 2 weeks on a story. And she said, you can write about whatever you want, and it's going to be permanent in this book. It blew my mind. I've never wanted to do anything since. I wrote about aliens. Funnily enough, I wrote about this girl gets a package of seeds. She plants them. She grows aliens. I was in 2nd grade, but I never want to do anything else. And so I've worked for it ever since. I said it at 10. I said it at 14. I said it at 20. And now here I am. And I'm like, I love it so much. So that's when I knew.
I love that. I love that story idea, Molly. Can you write it for me?
I feel that, right?
Yeah, I'm down with it.
Growing aliens. How about that?
It's a new Jack the Beanstalk retelling. Except we grow aliens here.
Yep.
Here, Vanessa, what about you?
I just forgot the question. I'm sorry.
See, growing aliens will do it every time. That's all the
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm really excited about these aliens. But the question was, how did you know that you wanted to pursue a career as an author? One day I'll use
I when I was growing up, I had no idea that you could make a living out of writing. I'm still not sure that happens, but I had a similar thing. I was in grade 9, I think, and I had a teacher named Mr. McDonald, Michael McDonald, and he also, this must be a common teaching thing, he told us to write a short story and make a book out of it, which we did, and I wish I could remember what it was. But that was like, to me, that was like, wow, this is so fun. I wish I could do this all the time. And I think as I got older, I started reading more books and thinking, I want to write my own. I want to put my own ending on these stories. And I think that's where it started. I think maybe I was somewhere between the ages of 13 to 16, where it was really like, this is what I want to do. But I wasn't sure how to get there, how to get to this point that I'm at right now. But fortunately, I figured it out eventually.
Nice.
Here I am.
There. We got to the end point. That's the best part.
Yes.
What about you, Shakir? When did you know?
Mine was probably about similar to Molly's. Actually, the way that I got brought into it in a manner of speaking was more through oral storytelling than anything else. I was, give or take, about 4, maybe 5 years old. My grandfather got tired of me running my mouth and decided that he needed to find something constructive for me to, if he was going to listen to me talk, that was going to be constructive. So he made me read a few books that he wanted me to, first he wanted me to kind of orally tell a book report on the books that I had read. Okay, that evolved into retelling those particular stories after I read them. So after doing that for a good long summer or two, it stuck. Literally, I even wrote about it in my blog on my website, and it's just that was really the spark at that particular point. It was just going from oral storytelling to actually putting pen to paper. And
on a side note, Heather did say that her husband is way into cigars.
Mm-hmm.
Try Doomits if you.
Yeah, I did. So I did take a look at that. I am a Drew Estate stan. I've got between the Undercrowns and the Deadwood Girls. That stays in my humidor like on normal rotation. I swear to God, it's just ridiculous sometimes. I should own stock at this particular point. Yeah. So, matter of fact, that's probably what I'll end up doing once we're done here.
Getting some stock in cigars.
No stock in cigars. We'll grab one and it'll be over.
That's what I thought too.
I was like, "Oh, right. We're investing. This is great."
I know, great investing.
No, we're not. We are not about to turn this left. No, we're gonna stay right here.
Well, on another wholesome note, Natasha wants to know: do you guys have any pets? I saw Vanessa's cat, and they're so cute. I agree. Your cat is adorable.
Adorable. Aliens would think my cats are adorable. Maybe Alf. Do you remember Alf the alien? Someone triggered this in
I remember
my memory the other day on Instagram, and I loved Alf too. But Alf ate cats, so that's a bit of a problem for me. But so I have 2 cats. They're 2 rescue cats. They're wandering around asking for their crunchies or their kibble. One's a Bengal, a rescue Bengal. We're her third set of owners. And she's actually wonderful. That very, very noisy, has a lot to say about my books. And Audrey and Ralphaz is the tabby. They don't like each other anymore, but they take turns in watching over me while I write. So one will take the morning shift and the other one will take the afternoon shift and keep me company that way. Yeah.
Well, at least they alternate. They've worked out.
Yeah, they've worked a plan out. They've shown that they can negotiate.
Yeah.
And then, Molly, I know you have an Irish wolfhound.
I do. I have a baby. She's just turned a year old, but she's still a puppy. But yeah, I have an Irish wolfhound, and then I have a senior English bulldog. She's 10. She's typical grouchy bulldog. Does not like the puppy at all, and the puppy's giant. She's taller than my daughter, and she's just the best, sweetest, most gentle dog ever. But you can see her on Instagram. She's pretty funny.
And then Shakir, what about you? Do you have any pets?
Yes,
wandering around?
Yeah, we actually have a Jack Russell Chihuahua mix, literally affectionately called a Jack Chi. That little joker's around here somewhere. There's no telling at this particular point. But anytime that he's much like Vanessa's cats. He will literally show up on the side of my laptop at any given moment, especially if I'm in bed, and trying to get some night writing done or whatever the case may be, he'll pop up and literally be on the side of my laptop screen like, so what you doing? And I'm like, really? This is what we're doing? This is how we're working tonight. Okay. Gotcha.
Well, and I am going to announce, congrats, Natasha. You're the winner of the gift card. So please email Meredith at entangledpublishing.com with the subject YA chat winner for your details. And she will go ahead and take care of you. And I think we have 5 minutes left. So we have a couple more questions. Do you listen to music while writing? And if so, what do you listen to?
I do when I'm revising, because when I'm writing, I find somehow the lyrics somehow make it into my book. That's not a good idea. Yeah, so actually, in Under the Milky Way, every chapter is named after a song title or a track. So we called them each chapter a track.
Right.
And there are 64 of them in this book. And some of the songs are actually weaved into the storyline of Under the Milky Way. And I've got stuff from David Bowie and from my husband's band, The Model School, plug.
Nice.
Nice.
And of course my favorite's Duran Duran. I have a few songs of theirs in the book. Not the lyrics, but the meanings of the songs are weaved into the story.
Gotcha. That'll work. Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
What about you, Molly? Do you listen to music? And if you do, what kind?
Oh yeah, I'm a total Spotify nut. So every book has a book playlist with a song that goes with every chapter, and then I also score the book like a movie. So that's what I listen to when I write, just anything that evokes the emotion of the scene I'm in at that moment. So yeah, I listen to just the instrumental, just the score, what I'm writing, the rough draft, and then when I'm revising, I do lyrics. So love it.
And then what about you, Shakir? Do you have any exciting instrumentals playing?
Well, as far as instrumentals are concerned, it depends on what it is. What I've really done in a lot of instances is that depending on the type of scene that I have to write, I literally do need the song itself to kind of help pull the information that I need out and figure out what to do from there at that point. I am a mix of jazz, hip hop, and R&B. It just depends on what it is that I need to run with at that particular moment with regard to whatever the emotions of the scene are. If they're heavier, obviously, hip hop is involved, especially if it's an action scene or a fight scene that I have to deal with or whatever the case may be. I need something that's on an edge as far as that is. So if it's something a little softer, obviously jazz works. If I need something romantic, then R&B works. So, yeah.
Good choices. I like this. I'm a big fan of playlists, so yes.
Yeah, I gotta get like them too, as far as trying to figure out what tracks to use in terms of what chapters and all that. I ain't learned that yet, so I gotta figure that out.
If you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah.
And then our last question is: do you have a season you enjoy to write in the most, or a time of day?
I like wintertime, which is now for me, because I can just cozy up. Like I put my jumper on and my heaters on, and I can have lots of hot chocolates and all the rest of it to keep me inspired or keep me going.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah, in summertime I'm just a slob, but I can't operate in summer.
What a mood. What about you, Molly?
I feel like I never stop writing, so I feel like I don't get a choice in the matter, but I do love fall, just for all the reasons Vanessa listed. I love fall. I love Colorado in the fall, so that would probably be my favorite.
And Shakir?
I'm good in the summer, honestly. I actually write my best work in the summer, only because I get to be outside and liquor and drinks and all that good stuff.
Shakir, partying.
What are you drinking now, actually, Shakir?
Yeah.
Actually, it's a mix of Bacardi and Bacardi rum and ginger ale.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
And then I'll end with one of my favorite questions, just because I know we have a book set in Chicago and I'm a New York girl.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather have Chicago deep dish or New York pizza? I need to know.
That's wrong. Oh my God, that's wrong.
Pastrami. We'll just say pastrami. Pastrami sandwich. Let's go. Let's just leave it at that.
What is that pizza?
Good answer. Good answer.
Not starting any wars.
Exactly.
No wars.
And Shakir Entangled Teen would like to know when we can hang out, they can hang out with you.
Look, anytime. I ain't even worried about it. I mean, it's for me. I mean, it's like because of the Zoom conferences and things of that nature that we always do, and the virtual book conferences that we've been doing over the last year or whatever the case may be. I am good with sitting at home with a drink in hand. 9 times out of 10, it's either Bacardi rum or it's vodka and cranberry juice. It's one of those two that I'm running with, one way or the other. So I'm good.
I mean, I'm a gin drinker, but sure, whatever floats your fancy.
Oh, gin. Aviation. Mm-hmm. Aviation gin is so good.
I mean,
I'm a whiskey girl, but aviation.
I don't drink aviation.
It's so smooth.
I'm sorry. I'm a Hendrix supporter.
It's so good, though. It's so good. It's so good. It's okay. I'm a whiskey girl anyway. Straight hands all the way. Vanessa, your turn.
I guess we're talking about our drink of choice. So what are you drinking?
With the other way.
Oh, mercy.
Well, it's champagne for me at
9 a.m.
7 o'clock in the morning.
I don't think we're drinking that early. On that note, we're going to be appropriate.
Yes, coffee.
I swear, it is peppermint tea. It's peppermint tea.
Oh, your little cat mug.
I love that.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We've had so much fun having you here. Vanessa, Molly, Shakir, this has been a blast. I will do this with you guys anytime. But have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.